What's up everybody, welcome into a brand new video. I'm here out in the car and I've been loving all of your comments that you've been leaving on the recent videos. I saw one from Erickson that made me laugh. He said, a caster in a car is kind of suggested, is this a new series? So for this particular instance, yes Erickson, this will be Caster in a Car Season 1 Episode 3. We're going to cover some more Fantasy Cup battles. I've got a really exciting team for you as well. This is a team that features Shadow Skarmory as well as Turtonator and Dragapult. This team is wicked. It's really fun. The main challenge is getting around Azumarill, but we find some creative ways to do that. So let's kick things off. I've got 10 games for you here. Our first opponent of this video, though, is going to be Lakers Sax, which is one letter short of something that I think a lot of LA fans would not be happy with. We're going to get that Galarian Weezing in the lead, and this is one of the main reasons I like Shadow Skarmory in lieu of the regular one, because the Steel Wings add up, and you can actually win that matchup versus the Galarian Weezing before it gets that second overheat. So they send in their Galarian Stunfisk, and at this point, I'm not really sure what I should do. I want this Stunfisk to spend some energy, but I'm not going to get my wish. I expect this is just going to be a Rock Slide onto the Dragapult, so I know Shield, and that's exactly what it is. Dragapult Astonish is very, very nice, deals a lot of damage over time, and I do think it's part of one of the most OP Fantasy Cup teams, but this is obviously not that team. This is just for fun. So we get the full Astonish down, which is really nice. We know that Galarian Weezing does not want to take a Shadow Ball. In it comes, so we bait with a Breaking Swipe. This is going to be heavily resisted if it goes shielded. Oh my gosh. Okay, so we got a great bait there. Going to try to build up to the Shadow Ball, and we get there as well. Maybe kind of underestimating the hype and the power of that Dragapult a bit. Shadow Ball takes the second shield, which is really nice. I know that they're going to have the overheat though, so I probably need to shield my Skarmory if I want to keep it around, and I decide to do that. It's just a Sludge Bait though, which is really nifty from them, but they have to swap into a Azumarill, and you can already see this is one of the biggest challenges of this team. It's really hit or miss. Honestly, getting rid of a Azumarill is difficult. It is not a fun time. But in this particular instance, we're able to line up our Skarmory against it, which is really nice. Dragapult has win conditions against it, and I do think that Skarmory is probably the best answer. However, you can find creative ways around it, including Flash Cannon, Turtonator. That Sludge comes off, not a big deal. We Steel Wing down. We don't even show the third Pokemon. That was a 2 Pokemon sweep. Gonna jump into this next battle here. Another Galarian Weezing. You're gonna see a ton of these Pokemon in the Fantasy Cup. I know you have probably seen them already. But again, the Shadow Steel Wing is really what we want, because my opponent doesn't have time to go back-to-back overheats here. We're just dealing too much damage. They come in now with an Excadrill. I'm gonna go with my Dragapult. This is a really dicey position to be in because the Excadrill Mud Slap is doing a lot. I need to calculate if I can KO in 2 more Astonishes. I'm going to shield, try to get the Astonish down, and we do just barely. Dragapult holds on, and this is actually an attack-weighted Dragapult as well. I won't give away my total spread, but it is a pretty hefty attack-oriented Pokemon. We Shadow Ball the Weezing. Now in comes the Azumarill. We have our Shadow Skarmory and our Turtonator in the back. I'm not really sure how to play this out, but I want to try to get a shield down, and I think that coming in and threatening the Brave Bird first is probably the easiest way to do that. So I fire the Sky Attack, I try to catch on an Ice Beam, but I'm able to swap and get the Incinerate, which is so sick. Ice Beam does connect, not a huge deal. I'm going to go ahead and throw a couple more Incinerates. I actually need 3 more in order to get to the Flash Cannon. Yes, it was poor timing, but I'm worried that this Azumarill is going to get to a play rough. Firing the Flash Cannon, it connects, and suddenly that shield doesn't look so threatening. I think this Azumarill needs a play rough, plus, I don't know, 2 Ice Beams to win this game. They land the first play rough. The first part of that recipe is complete, but I bring in the Shadow Skarmory and get a fat Steel Wing down. Who said Steel Wing was nerfed? It's still pretty good in the Fantasy Cup. We're going to take on Cambro in the next one. This is a Flygon, and you're going to find out later on, Flygon is the bane of my existence. I hate playing against this Pokemon. It's so annoying. But for right now, the Flygon is going to fire off what I assume is Scorching Sands, and it will be. It does take a little bit more out of my Skarmory than I thought, and I'm a little late on the swap. I should have just done the 1 single Steel Wing, but I end up firing 2. And now at this point, the Turtonator is ramped up. It's got the Dragon Pulse ready to go. It needs 3 every time. So I'm able to throw 3 Astonishes for 9 turns, within 2 Incinerates for 10 turns, and get to my Breaking Swipe. I can get to another one if they shield, and they do. Gonna go. Oh, I just went for the blind breaking swipe. I should have just done another another Astonish there, but it's fine. We still pick up the knockout. Opponent did have the Flygon lead. They come in with the Ferrothorn, and this is looking really good for us. Ferrothorn, probably the best answer to Azumarill this entire meta. I think you know that for sure. But it has a lot of obstacles, including the Turtonator. So now we come in here with our Shadow Skarmory. At this point, I'm thinking if the Scorching Sand is 7-6, then I might just shield and Steel Wing down. That's exactly what I do, and now I've got almost 2 charge stacks loaded for that Ferrothorn. And unfortunately, because of the nerf to Sky Attack, it does cost so much energy that you cannot hold 2. However, we are going to get to the Brave Bird as well. The Bravey Pete coming in with a big knockout against that Ferrothorn. So nice sequence of events for us. That is certainly a 2-0 to start. Let's take out Truffalotta. It's going to be that Galarian Weezing. Oh my gosh, I'm recognizing a theme, right? This Pokemon is in the lead for like every single team that I come across. Gonna go for some extra Steel Wing damage here. And I think I'll throw in the Sky Attack. That probably was a mistake. But the Galarian Weezing definitely does win that charge attack priority, as it was. The Sludge does get shielded, but I'm going to try to take a shield back or get a knockout. And we get the shield. However, I know this is overheat at this point, and I don't want to shield anymore. I want to farm. So I'm going to let the overheat through. That absolutely cooks my Skarmory, Control-Alt-Delete style. Coming in with the Turtonator, we get 2 fat Incinerates, but you got to assume there's an Azumarill in the back, and there is. Gonna go for 1 Incinerate and then swap into Dragapult. This is a really awkward situation to be in. I'm not loving this situation whatsoever. I'm gonna go for the Breaking Swipe here against the Dugtrio. I guess what I can try and do is draw the shield, force them to throw, and then come in with Turtonator and try to double Flash Cannon. I'm considering shielding that, but I decide not to because I don't know if the Mud Slap will knock me out. I think it would. Anyways, in comes the final Pokemon, Azumarill, but I got the Flash Cannon, and thankfully, I'm able to get off that Incinerate and not lose energy. It'd be such a colossal waste if I fire that Incinerate, and I'm already at 100 energy. So, Azumarill has a charge attack ready to go. Turtonator does a little bit of a roar there. Very nice touch. Gonna go for 1 more Incinerate for good timing, and then fire off the Flash Cannon. But will it be enough? Let's find out. Flash Cannon isn't enough. Azumarill's still around, and it's going to get to a charge attack. If this is the play rough, this is game over. Can Turtonator hang on? Oh, it can! It actually does hang on, and we get a massive Incinerate down onto that Azumarill. That was really close, but somehow we're able to pull it off. Hell yeah. We're going to see the Salamence in the lead. This is going to be a Fire Fang Salamence, so I got to get out of there quick smart, as PvP Steve likes to say. A little bit late on the swap. And that Salamence got a little bit low. However, this is a really, really difficult place to be in. I mean, I hard lost lead. In comes the Steelix. I predict this is Psychic Fangs. This is a Thunder Fang Steelix, I believe. And it's really chewing me up. I don't know if I can get to another Shadow Ball here, but I'm going to try to throw the Breaking Swipe. A little bit of visual lag there as well. I'm not really sure what's going on with that. But we do get the shield, which is super nice. I come in with the Skarmory. At this point, I'm just going to try to sweep with the Turtonator, and as you probably notice, I do have Flamethrower and Flash Cannon on my Turtonator. Not the best moveset to deal with something like a Salamence, so I need to get creative here, and I think that I TM that Turtonator later on in the video. Sorry, there's like a truck with weird camouflage there. Anyway, come in with the Turtonator against the Azumarill. I think if I can get a full Incinerate down, I can probably just Flash Cannon that Salamence, but this is a beefy farm down. Come on, Turtonator. That's a good turtle. They still have 1 Pokemon in addition to that Salamence, so I'm forced to throw the Flamethrower into the Steelix. This is the one time when the Flamethrower really helped me, but most of the time it was no bueno. But they're going to top left, and that is a GG's for us. Turtonator keeps on rolling. That looks like a 5-0 from the Turt himself. We're going to get a Token Tomorrow reward, and if you're enjoying the battles so far, it would be a massive reward to me if you would like, comment, and subscribe. Again, I've been loving all the comments you've been leaving on the videos lately. I really appreciate all of you so much. Thank you for sticking around. We're taking on Abner now. This is a Alolan Sandslash, which is, if you can tell, when the shields go down, this Pokemon would absolutely annihilate most of my team. So Definitely need to be careful about how we handle this Pokemon. Ice Punch does quite a lot more than I thought, but I'm able to get to the Sky Attack here, and my mode right now is maybe to just let this Skarmory go and then try to Incinerate down, but I try to combo play and surprise them, and I'm fire off the Incinerate, and it's a drill run. Turtonator barely hangs on, but honestly, I'm pretty happy that I kept the shield, and my dragon typing means that I'm able to get to the Flash Cannon to boot, which is a really nice turn of events. So very nice sequence there, and I'm able to put that Sandslash basically on life support. Now I come in with the Skarmory. I want to try to build to another attack, but I want this Azumarill to throw energy as well. At this point, I'm just going to let it go. Like Elsa, the Ice Beam takes us out, and now we have our Dragapult versus the Azumarill. The good thing, though, is that I believe I might be able to Astonish down, or at least close to Astonish down, and just overcharge a heck of a lot of energy. They realize I'm going to Astonish down. They try to catch, and I do not allow it to happen. Astonish takes out that Sandslash, and then 3 more get the KO. It's up to us to take on the final Pokemon, and it's a Flygon. Oh my goodness. The dragons are coming out to play, and normally a Dragon Claw would be devastating. However, I have so much energy on my Dragapult here that it doesn't even matter. I think about going for the Shadow Ball, but that first Breaking Swipe connects. I'm going to go for a second one right away. And I mean, at this point, just a couple of Astonishes would be enough, but we're going to get a KO there, and I went for the more certain win, right? I don't know if a single Shadow Ball would be enough. We're going to see Jirachi in this next game, and luckily I've got 2 answers to it, but this is a weird Pokemon to see. I'm not even going to get it twisted. This is a strange Pokemon in this cup. We're able to sneak through a full Astonish, which is really bad for them, but great for us. Opponent does throw the Doom Desire, coming in now with Azumarill. I'm going to go for the Shadow Ball right away and try to take that shield back. Do we get it? And we do, which is nice. However, because of the switch timers, I think I'm stuck here, and my opponent does get to the Ice Beam. You could argue I should have gone for the Breaking Swipe there just to draw the shield, or at least debuff the Azumarill. You're probably right if you say that. This Azumarill, though, if it's backing Hydro Pump, is a bit of a problem. I'm going to go ahead and let this Charge Attack through. If I counted correctly, it's just an Ice Beam. And it is just the Ice Beam, which is nice. Going to build up 4 more Steel Wings, actually even more than that. They come in back with the Jirachi, and this is actually so clever. This is 5-headed by them, because what it does is it forces me to bring out my 3rd Pokemon, and now I'm kind of exposed. So you could argue that I should have stayed with Skarmory and just played it out, because now I'm forced to shield a potential Play Rough. Turns out to be an Ice Beam. You go for the single Incinerate because it's 5 turns versus the 2 Bubbles for 6 turns. You only give away 1 free turn. Opponent does shield, though. I'm beginning to think there might be something that can beat Skarmory in the back. Azumarill going to go for another Charge Attack. It will be another Ice Beam. We can shrug that off, no problem. Can we get the Incinerate down? I don't trust it, so I am going to fire off my 2nd Flamethrower. I'm going to look for the Skarmory right away, and it's a Registeel. Oh my goodness, this is not a good spot to be in. I'm going to try to double Brave Bird this thing. As we know, it takes about 7 Steel Wings for the Focus Blast to get queued up, and I hope, fingers crossed, I hope that even with the double debuffs, this Skarmory is not within lock-on down range. Actually turned out to be a Charge Attack priority tie, so what I need to do is I need to land 2 Incinerates and then fire the Flamethrower, but I don't have any HP left at all, and we only get off 1 single Incinerate. So yeah, I think the real pivotal moment came down to that Azumarill switch out. I should have just stayed in with the Skarmory versus that Jirachi. But speaking of mythical steel types, we get Melmetal all of a sudden. So I go into the Dragapult here, double Iron Bash, Rock Slide, Superpower, or Thunderbolts. Turns out to be the double Iron Bash. I come in with the Azumarill, but that was a really smart play to chip and then dip. Let me know what kind of dip is your favorite down in the chat. I know it's always between salsa, queso, and guacamole, or it could be something else. Now this Azumarill has me kind of pinned. I'm starting to think I should play for Switch, but I think it's just a road too far. I don't have enough health, so I'm going to come back in with the Skarmory and try to Steel Wing all the way down. I'm probably going to take an Ice Beam here. Azumarill with just a sliver of HP gets to the Ice Beam, which is really tough. It's actually Play Rough, so must have been Play Rough Hydro Pump. Anyway, we're going to Blind Fire the, I believe this is the Brave Bird, onto that Melmetal. Takes the shield, surprisingly, which is really good. And now we're able to send in the Turtonator. I suspect this is Rock Slide. It turns out it's a Superpower double Iron Bash. What a kit. And this might be the match that I really convinced myself I needed to try something else besides Flamethrower. because the Flygon is now on the field, and this is a tough position to be in. I'm going to go for, oh my gosh, what a terrible miscount. It's just Dragon Claw. It's less energy. It's so much faster to get to, and I think with that, I just threw this game because now the Flygon is able to overcharge and throw a Scorching Sands into the Skarmory. Yeah, this is just... Oh, they actually throw the Dragon Claw, surprisingly enough. I'm going to try to go for the full Steel Wing down, but a little visual lag doesn't even matter. We get KO'd. So, I would say a strong start for this team. The 5-0 was really fun. However, we are starting to falter. At this point, there's another Azumarill in the lead. We see a lot of fairies in the lead in this cup. A lot of Glaring Weezing or Azumarill seem to be very, very commonplace. At this point, I am going to decide to let this through. It is just the Ice Beam. And 4 more Steel Wings, convert that into a Sky Attack to try to start to chip down this Azumarill right here. Azumarill does take a big hit, but it's not enough of a hit, as I'm pretty sure it could bubble me down if it so chooses. And I'm going to let this one through. This is another Ice Beam. I'm going to come in with a Turtonator. This is a bulky, gutsy farm down, and we don't get it. Azumarill, again, the incredible nuisance that it is, hangs on with just 1 HP. But now that the Azumarill's gone, I think there's a lot of play. And yeah, this was the final nail in the coffin when I just decided I needed to play something besides Flamethrower, because against the opposing Turtonator, I am helpless without Dragon Pulse. So I believe I TM this Pokemon to Dragon Pulse Flash Cannon as a cool tech, but we'll see what happens. Overheat does get shielded up. They come in now with a Fortress, and I love to see this Pokemon. However, I'm going to have to take a big old Dragon Dump on it. So the Breaking Swipe does take the shield. I get to the Shadow Ball as well. My gosh, this is going to be a mid-court shot. Shadow Ball, sink it, got him. Big knockout there, and now the Turtonator is all alone. Because of that Fortress in the back, I really lucked out. The position I was in had enough energy to make that competitive, and Breaking Swipe does knock out the Turtonator for us. So, last game of the video. Again, if you like this content, please like, comment, and subscribe. We're going to get Lucario in the lead. Going to instant swap into our Dragapult here. And now I see the Azumarill. With the 2 Astonished lead, if I can connect the Shadow Ball here, right? I'm listing all these probable things. 2 Astonished lead plus the Shadow Ball. I think I can win this matchup. I don't get the Shadow Ball through, but it is a Charge Attack priority tie, and I really want to put Turtonator on that Lucario. I want it so bad. And at this point, I'm going to, I believe I just full send Shadow Balls here on CMP. This is the advantage that the 2 Astonished lead gives the Dragapult, because now, oh, and I get another one through as well. It wasn't the CMP. Yikes. Now at this point, I'm able to just paste to another one. I think my opponent realizes it, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, they realize it. They come in with the Turtonator. I hold. I'm learning from the goats like Pato Man and Colin over at EU. I'm learning when to not throw my Charge Attack and have it get caught. Gonna go for one more Astonish, and then the Breaking Swipe took out the KO. But I basically achieved my mission here. I've got a healthy Skarmory in the back. The Azumarill comes in, and what a sad ending for a lovely Azumarill. I try to think about going for the Shadow Ball. It's a little bit too much, but I still bring in the Turtonator here. I guess Lucario could make this exciting if it's like a Shadow Ball or a close combat, but it's just a Thunder Punch and we resist that, so Turtonator able to incinerate down. This was a really fun team. I don't know if I recommend it because it does struggle very much against Azumarill, so be cautious when you do play it, but if you do try it, yeah, I hope you have a good time, and I hope you incinerate some stuff down and Brave Bird things to boot. Thank you so much, everybody, and I'll see you in the next one.